Welcome back to Thunderstash Gaming, and today we're exploring one of the greatest hidden gems in the Castlevania series, Rondo of Blood. Originally released in 1993 on the PC Engine's Super CD-ROM as a Japan exclusive, this title has gained legendary status among fans, and thanks to the Castlevania Requiem collection on PlayStation 4, we can now experience this classic in all its gothic glory on modern consoles. But does it still hold up in 2024? Let's find out. Rondo of Blood follows the classic Castlevania formula with some fresh twist. This time you take on the role of Richter Belmont, the latest vampire hunter in the Belmont lineage, as he sets out to defeat Count Dracula and rescue 4 kidnapped maidens, including his fiancée Annette. Along the way, Richter is joined by Maria Renard, a young girl with her own unique abilities. Marie's character is only accessible if you find the key in Stage 2 and save her, adding an extra layer of depth to the narrative. I think what sets Rondo of Blood apart is the way the story is told, with beautifully hand-drawn cutscenes and voice acting, a first for the series, and the inclusion of a continuous side quest to rescue the maidens adds depth to the narrative, making this a standout entry in the series. The story's progression through these side quests and the potential for different endings gives the game a unique flavor that sets it apart from its predecessors. The gameplay in Rondo of Blood is classic Castlevania with a few key innovations. Richter's whip remains his primary weapon, but you also have access to sub-weapons like the Holy Water, Axe, and Cross. One notable addition is the item Crash, which is a powerful, screen-clearing move unique to each sub-weapon. And a significant part of the game's charm comes from the branching paths in each level, allowing you to discover secrets and alternate routes. I think one of the most exciting gameplay additions is Maria Renard as a playable character. Unlike Richter, she is more agile with the ability to double jump, making platforming segments easier, and sometimes you can even jump over enemies if you time it right. Her basic attack involves throwing 2 doves at enemies, which is very unique, while her special move, the Guardian Knuckle, unleashes a devastating punch across the screen. Maria's inclusion adds variety and replayability as she plays very different from Richter. Additionally, her sub-weapons, which are completely different from Richter's, provide a fresh gameplay experience that keeps the game feeling dynamic and varied. And it's just very interesting. Like, one of her sub-weapons is her cat, to where you can literally throw a cat and it will attack enemies. It's very different, but it's super cool, and I really liked it a lot, actually. Another element that adds to the depth of gameplay is the quest to rescue the 4 maidens, and these rescues are more than just simple tasks. They're tied to key events in the game and are accompanied by beautifully animated cutscenes with voice acting. The keys needed to rescue these maidens are hidden throughout the stages, encouraging exploration, and completing these rescues not only affects the story, but also leads to different endings. And one thing that's nice is, in Rondo of Blood, there is no level clock, so you don't have to rush through the level to make sure you beat it in time. The game actually encourages exploration. Rondo of Blood pushes the PC Engine's Super CD-ROM capabilities to deliver one of the most visually striking entries in the series. The game is celebrated for its detailed sprite work, with richly animated characters and enemies that stand out against beautifully crafted backgrounds. The art direction embraces a gothic horror theme, capturing the essence of the Castlevania series with its haunted castles, moonlit forest, eerie catacombs, and even a haunted pirate ship. Each stage is distinct and visually memorable, featuring a wide range of atmospheric settings that enhance the game's dark, supernatural tone. The cutscenes, a first for the series, are presented in a hand-drawn anime style, adding a cinematic quality that complements the game's narrative. The color palette is vibrant, yet carefully muted to maintain a foreboding atmosphere, and the game's smooth animations and parallax scrolling contribute to an immersive experience that feels ahead of its time. Even today, Rondo of Blood's graphics and art style are celebrated for their craftsmanship, making it not just a technical showcase for the PC Engine, but also a visual benchmark for the series. Now, if there's one area where Rondo of Blood truly excels, it's the soundtrack. This was the first Castlevania game created using CD-ROM technology, and the developers made sure to take full advantage of it. The result is one of the most impressive soundtracks, not just in the Castlevania series, but in the entire 8 to 16-bit era. From the intense energy of Bloodlines to the haunting melodies of Opus 13, there isn't a single weak track in the game. Each piece enhances the game's atmosphere, creating an unforgettable audio experience. And I think out of all the linear Castlevania games, I personally find Rondo of Blood's soundtrack to be the most enjoyable, which is saying a lot. Konami, as you know, was known for delivering legendary soundtracks during this period, and Rondo of Blood might just have the best soundtrack of them all. The music sounds just as great today, if not better, than it did back in 1993. I think it has aged incredibly well, making it one of the standout features of the game. So, who is this game for? Rondo of Blood is a must-play for Castlevania fans, retro gamers, and anyone who loves a good challenge. It's important to note that this game is not for the faint of heart due to its difficulty. Fortunately, the game is now available on the PlayStation Store, as it was previously only released on the PC Engine Super CD in Japan, known as the TurboGrafx CD in the US. And the game was never brought to the United States due to the TurboGrafx CD's commercial failure. It was also released as a 2.5D remake on the PSP, and the original was available on the Wii Virtual Console, but the writing was in Japanese despite it being released on the US Virtual Console. I would say the fact that the original game is now available on a modern console is significant, and if you're new to this series, or this game in particular, you'll find a deep and rewarding experience that I think has aged remarkably well. Now, when it comes to the game's content, I would say there's actually plenty of content to keep you hooked in Rondo of Blood. The game features 8 main stages, each divided into 2 to 3 sections, making for a total of about 16 stages, and the game has branching paths, secret areas, and of course the quest to rescue the maidens adds layers of replayability. Finding all the keys and saving the maidens unlocks alternate endings, making it worthwhile to explore every nook and cranny of Dracula's castle. Now, when it comes to the game's difficulty, I think Rondo of Blood offers a fair but challenging experience. The difficulty I personally think is well balanced, definitely got a steady learning curve that makes every victory feel earned. However, most gamers find Rondo of Blood terribly difficult and unfair, as evidenced by the overwhelming Google search results for "Is Rondo of Blood hard?" The game can be frustrating for gamers who are not accustomed to retro gaming, and I would say there's a bit of grinding required to find all the secrets and complete the side quests, but I think it's a rewarding process. I think the pacing is excellent, with each level offering a perfect blend of platforming, combat, and exploration. When it comes to the game's emotion and charm, I think there's something magical about revisiting Rondo of Blood in 2024. For fans who grew up with the series, the game is a nostalgic masterpiece that transports you back to the golden age of gaming. I think the combination of memorable characters, of course the introduction of Richter, atmospheric environments, and one of the best soundtracks in gaming history creates an emotional connection that's hard to describe. Most people in the United States never played this game growing up, and essentially we had a very bad port, or reimagining you would call it, on the Super Nintendo called Castlevania Dracula X, which was a terrible game that ran very poorly. And even if you didn't play it back in the day, there's a unique charm to this game that makes it stand out amongst its peers. So, is the game fun to play? I would say the game's a blast to play from start to finish. The tight gameplay, challenging enemies, and variety of levels really keep you engaged throughout. There's a lot of different environments in the game, and I thought it was very enjoyable. Rondo of Blood is really fun if you can get past its difficulty and persevere. For those who don't quit when the going gets tough, the game becomes more rewarding as you advance to the later levels, with improved level design, boss fights, and music. So whether you're playing as Richter or Maria, I think there's a sense of satisfaction in mastering the mechanics and conquering the game's toughest challenges. And if you find the game really hard, you just need to unlock Maria in Stage 2, and then go back to the game's main menu, change characters, and play the game as Maria. I think honestly playing as her really helps to make the game more playable. So if you're wondering how long it takes to beat the game, I would say on first playthrough, Rondo of Blood should take about 4 to 6 hours to complete, depending on how much time you spend exploring and rescuing the maidens. It's likely to take longer the first time since you will probably die a lot. With the multiple paths and characters, there's plenty of reason to revisit the game, extending the overall playtime. Let's touch now on the legacy of Castlevania Rondo of Blood. It's often hailed as one of the best entries in the Castlevania series, yet not a lot of people have played it. I think it laid the groundwork for Symphony of the Night by expanding upon the concept of multiple and hidden paths, encouraging exploration, which is the big one, because they removed the level timer, which allowed players to really fully immerse themselves in the game's environments without feeling rushed. These innovations would later become core elements in Symphony of the Night, setting the stage for the Metroidvania style that the series would become famous for. The mix of tight gameplay, haunting atmosphere, and incredible music has left a lasting impact on the gaming world. Even today, it stands as a testament to what made Castlevania so iconic. Alright guys, now it's time for my final thoughts. Castlevania Rondo of Blood is a true masterpiece that deserves every bit of praise it receives. Whether you're revisiting it or playing it for the first time, I think you're going to find an experience that's both timeless and unforgettable. From the gameplay to the soundtrack, everything about this game has aged beautifully. If you're a Castlevania fan, a retro gamer, or just someone looking for a great challenge, I think Rondo of Blood is a must-play. And again, I walked away from playing this game really believing that this is the best linear Castlevania game. Alright guys, that's all for Castlevania Rondo of Blood, a hidden gem that deserves its legendary status. Hope you enjoyed exploring this classic with me. If you did, please like the video, leave a comment with your favorite moments, and don't forget to subscribe to Thunderstash Gaming for more retro gaming reviews. As always, thanks for watching, and remember, never too old to play video games.
Give me power! Impossible! Not this time!
Once again, the blood of Belmont has defeated me. Perhaps this, too, is part of my fate.
Death to you! The world is not yours to exist in!
It is not by my own power that I am resurrected. It is the greed of humanity which calls me back. And thus, by might I rule. Might becomes the one and only justice in this world.
Of all the self-serving claptrap, the same basic faith drives all people to seek, to come together, to move forward. That surely can't be an evil thing.
And yet, here I am. Do you not have any desires?
Well,
it is by your desires that you humans prosper, and it is your faith which has ruled you. Considering that, can you really call me evil?
but people cannot be ruled by power alone. The sacred, the honorable, the loved, those things can rule humanity. Something evil will eventually fall to ruin!
I see. Perhaps you're right. We shall meet again, Blood of Belmont.
Impossible. Not this time.
Once again, the blood of Belmont has defeated me. Perhaps this, too, is part of my fate.
It's your fault for being so mean to everyone.
It is not by my own power that I am resurrected. It is the greed of humanity which calls me back. And thus, by might, I rule. Might becomes the one and only justice in this world.
I don't understand what that means. No matter how complicated you make it, a bad thing is still a bad thing.
So long as greedy humans exist, I shall be reborn. That's all you need to remember. You proved amusing to me. We shall meet again, Blood of Belmont.
What you think is so